In this video, we're going to talk about not only how this will affect intraday short-term trades and what you can do to kind of maximize potential during a recession, but also maybe a few ideas, guys, for long-term trade ideas during a recession.
When you think about a recession, like, it's a huge market event, and obviously you're going to start to see some basically gigantic swings in equities. And I think you want to look at where your potential is going to be. And I'm going to bring up a stock which, right now ROKU is going to sort of exemplify the point of what I want to make here. And that's simply, you want to be trading things that have or at a price level that they can run away from. And what I mean by that is either they are on the verge of breaking out, or they are at these pivot points or decision points where they could absolutely flush, because resistance is going to matter as you head into when you're in a bear market. So when I talk about ROKU here, any stock that is already up, or sorry, I should say already down as much as it is, when you talk about 490 into a bottom at about $70, it doesn't take much of a move relatively to the upside to give you 10, 15, 20% bounces, which is exactly what short-term traders are looking for. But at the other end of the coin is if you get a recession and if you have a rate-raising environment, a company that's not making money is going to be under continuous pressure. So I want to see these nice little pivot points, and why I'm talking about this stock today is it gave you a couple of those. One, breaking that 50-period moving average, attempting to close the first time above that since, how far are you pulling back? It's been hugging that price level, so it gives you a nice possibility of an entry, holding above a 50-period moving average, and then I'll give you one more, potentially trying to break and hold above $100 an even dollar level. That's the kind of thing in a relief rally. You can get these 10, 15% moves. Alibaba was a perfect example of this. When it held above 100, it was an easy 15 to 20% mover. You also saw AMD do a similar thing off of 100. Block, the first time it broke and held $100, gave you a very similar move. So that's the type of opportunity you want to look at. And the best thing about it is, if you're looking for the other side of the coin, when they fail levels like this, you then get good pullback type trades as well. So if you want to be on the short side, it fails the 50 period and goes lower. It fails 100 and goes lower. You'll also get day trades with a little more oomph to them as well. Look what happens every time it's failed a 50 period break. You've gotten within a day or two 10, 15, 20% move. So that's what you want to be looking out for. Don't trade things that are in too tight of a range or don't give you that bigger opportunity. If there aren't those big key levels to work off of, you want to stay away.
All right, so I read this as like, what are we supposed to be trading, right? We've talked about names that I like to buy, like a Google heading into the split, even Tesla heading into their proposed split as well. You may want to own a little bit heading into those events. We saw what it did to Amazon, and I feel like Google is a good name to own and to keep dollar cost averaging into a kind of recession that potentially we're having, and I believe it's already happening over there in Europe. So a few names to look at there, but I'm going to give you another one here, and I just think, and we've talked about this on the show a lot, and this is going to sound a little bit crazy, but why not Revlon? Like, for the next little while, this name's going to continue to be hot. And we're day traders. So to sit here and look at a stock that basically has every single day, here's the range. Even before this, the volume's really picked up, but even before, nice little move to the downside there, hits that dollar. And I'm just going to say this now because there's still more news to come on Revlon, whether or not, hey, they back out in India. Reliance says no, they don't want to take a piece of this. Or, the bankruptcy somehow turns itself around now. And you know what could also happen on Revlon coming up soon? And again, don't at me for this, but what about a share offering? They're still able to do that as far as I know, but maybe not because they're in bankruptcy protection. So there could be something about that, more work to be done. But that's the point of what I'm getting at. Who knows what Revlon's going to do over the next little while? So I feel like if you're continuously looking at names that have these kind of spike moves, there's a few happening today as well. There's PEV we talked about. That had a big move yesterday. I think that was yesterday, a couple days ago. PEV today probably a little more quiet, but look at this on the daily chart here. Big volume comes up. This one a little bit less of an example, but I just really think that Revlon has a lot of interesting things happening to it. Whether or not you're a bull or you're a bear, it's doing high volume. We've cracked 100 million a couple days in a row. 140 there, 180, 160, 115 right there. And even on low days, you're talking about like a day like today, 37, 38, 50 million shares down there at the bottom. So I feel like when, if you're not sure of a direction of the market, or you feel like maybe we're a little overdone by, look to some of these crazy runner stocks here, like a Redbox, like a Revlon, things like that tend to move on just random news. Because hey, as day traders, as long as you have stop orders, you'll be fine. So I would look at Revlon as a name to trade during these times.
I'm going to go back to longer term, and I'm going to show you a weekly chart here, guys, of one from the retail group. And you may think, wait, what? During a recession, buy a retail stock? And I'm going to explain. Here's a retail chart of the Home Depot, and here is why. I highlighted what it has already done this year, and that is tough to see there, but negative 33% off of its highs, while the market is down 20+%, obviously in bear market territory, coming back into a huge level here. Again, this is a weekly chart. This is the COVID low. This is the high that we hit just before the beginning of this year. We're now down 33%, back into a significant level between 300 and 250 on a weekly chart. Pays almost a 3% dividend. And you say, okay, higher interest rates means less people are going to be spending money on improvements from their homes. This is a great stock that'll be around for a long time. It's been around for a long time and has already come off a significant way with a great dividend if you want to ride out something that might be a little bit rough for the next year or two. We got to be in those kind of names, guys. Great ideas for recession-proof trading coming up.